Hello and welcome to Make Your Mind. This is a little bit of a different video. Sorry for the camera being a little shaky, but I did a test earlier and this is a new setup that I have where you have a POV look into what I'm about to do. You probably see all this and you go, what is all this? What is this? This is me. You may have saw the video earlier where I posted about my home grow. I have a garden in my backyard where I grow daddle peppers. And this is a quick video to show the recipe that I use to make my homemade hot sauce. So let's go ahead and begin. Right now I got about 3/4 cup worth of apple cider vinegar. It's down here. I'm going to go ahead and put that in our processor. Like so. Now, in order to do this properly, in order to get the correct measurements, you want to make sure that you have at least some type of tablespoon-sized either spoon like this. You're going to have a knife. That's in order to prep these peppers to cut the stems off like I have already done. And a measuring cup. It doesn't have to be a massive one. It can be 1 cup. It's all dependent on you. But these are the ingredients that I will be using. I have an apple cider vinegar base. And then the next ingredient that I will be putting in it is tomato paste. And for that, I will be using my knife in order to scoop out. There's about a half a can or so of tomato paste in there that I used from another time that I used the hot sauce. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of here. This is going to give the sauce a little bit of thickness. Yeah, you see all that? That stuff is thick. Thick with 3 C's. Look at that. I'm going to go ahead and scrape that off. Try to get as much as we can out of there. There we go. See, I got some in the back there, not that much. Try to scoop out all that we can. There we go. Now we are done with the tomato paste. And I apologize once again for the shaky cam. This mount is a little bit loose, so it's about as good as I can get. And then the next, what we're going to do after that, we already have our tomato paste and apple cider vinegar. We're going to move on to our seasoning. The first seasoning we're going to work with is this right here. This is Pit Boss's Mango Magic. Now, I'm not sponsored, but this is, I recommend everyone, if you can get this, get it. This is one of the best seasonings that you can get. You can use it on literally everything. It's a mix of dried garlic, dried onion, and dried mangoes. Of course, with the motif, we got the mango juice as well. But anybody who wants to get something sweet and tangy to flavor their food, this is your go-to. Once again, I'm not sponsored, but I do recommend it. And remember, made in the USA. Check that out. This stuff's legit. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to open up the fat side right there. Got my tablespoon right here, and we're going to go ahead, just fill that up. Get about halfway or so in there. You don't want to put in too much. Mix that in. There we go. We got a little paste on there. That's good. All right, and now down here we have Pride and Joy. Little daddle peppers. I went ahead and cut the stems. There's a little bit of seeds in there if you can see them. They're right underneath that little skin layer there. I have, let's see how many I have. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 12 peppers. That may sound like a lot, but these peppers are actually fairly sweet and they're not super hot. And we're going to be making a much larger batch than usual. So I will be more than willing to use more peppers as this goes on. As you can see, I got a green one in there. That adds a little bit of bitterness. So we're going to go ahead and take our peppers. Now you want to be careful with these. Make sure that when you cut them open, you see those seeds, that is where all the heat is. But these are not so hot that you have to wear gloves. You can use these. Go ahead and add them in. And just remember, do not touch downstairs and do not touch your eyes. And make sure that afterwards you always wash your hands. A little bit of tomato paste right there. There we go. Now next, we're going to add our other seasonings. We're going to use our cinnamon and our our nutmeg. So here we go. Pop that open like so. See, I use this quite often. Go ahead and pour in just enough. Don't need very much. Maybe need about only just a little bit to give it some cinnamon flavor. And there we go. And the same thing with the nutmeg. Nutmeg is very strong, same as cinnamon. Ooh, I smell that. That smell. Oh, that smells so good. It smells like gingerbread. That is the gingerbread smell right there. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the mix as well. Now we are done with our cinnamon and our nutmeg. And the last thing we have left is our pride and joy, our mango juice. But before we do that, we're actually going to go ahead and start our processor. Go ahead and get the lid right here. Once again, I do apologize for the shaky cam. Let's see, there we go. That in there. What I will do next, so I will get a quick silicone spatula right here, and I'm going to spatula down this tomato paste. It's sticking quite a bit. There we go. Now you also got to be careful because tomato paste can stain. So what you want to do is that once you are finished using it, you want to go ahead and wash it off, and we'll wash it off here in our sink. I will make sure to wash it with soap. All that later. We will leave that here for the time being. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our lid. Now you can use this with a blender or any type of food processor. This is my personal processor here. Make sure, are we plugged in? Yes, indeed we are. And we're going to start off slow and then work our way. Don't want to go full speed right off the bat because it'll splatter everywhere. And with the capsaicin in there, the last thing you want it to do is splatter. That stuff will burn. All right, we'll start off slow. Ramp it up. Ramp it up again. See how it's already starting to mix? Look at that. Make sure you have your hand over the top to hold this steady. All right. That was it. I got a little bit on my hands there. Ooh. Woo-wee. That is good. All right, there we go. There's our start. As we can see, it's actually pretty liquidy. It's not super thick. So we may add a little bit more tomato paste. I got another can right here. Now this is the part where it's more experimentation. You're going to want to add a little bit to thicken it, maybe add a little bit of something else to thin it, which is what I'm going to be doing here. And for my sauce, I personally like to use tomato paste as the thickener and then use mango juice, as the thinner, because that mango is just so sweet. It's so good. So that is what I will be doing. Let me go ahead and grab my handy dandy can opener. This thing's awesome, especially with the crank. So let's go ahead and pierce the can. Leave it down right here. Cut open, get some of that paste out. And there we have it. Place that to the side. Now careful with your fingers. The can get very sharp. If you don't think you can pry it out, use something like a spatula, or in this case I have my little knife. There we go. And once again, this part is all going to be experimentation. We're going to make sure that we thicken it with something and then thin it as we go to get the right... that's good. To get the right texture and viscosity here. Close that up, and let's do this one more time. There we go. Make sure to cover the top. All right, there we go. Now it's getting nice and thick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of our fresh mango juice. Because you want it thin enough to be able to spread, but thick enough to where it doesn't get all watery and runny everywhere. Let's go ahead and grab our handy dandy spatula. Let's mix this around and see what we got here. That's looking pretty good. And remember, once this goes in the fridge, it's going to thicken up a little bit again, so it may look thin now, but it'll thicken up when it gets cold. that there. Then from here, I'm going to do a quick jump cut until we get the viscosity that we want. All right, here we go. There we go. Look at that. A little bit of extra paste right in there. We'll mix that in. That's tasting good. Okay, and then from here, we're going to go to the bottling process, which in that case, we've got our handy plastic funnel here, and we have our reusable, resealable bottle, which we will then put a lid on. And from there, we're going to pour this into here. We're going to fill it up. Now, make sure that when you're filling it up, you watch where it goes. Because if you put too much in here and you see that it's going to overfill, don't let that happen. So here we go. Cut that off, and let's go ahead and pour. All right, it appears to be flowing quite well. We got good viscosity, so it doesn't get too stuck. All right, let's see, there we go. All right, and there we go. And that is how you make the homemade hot sauce. So if you go ahead and like this video, go ahead and leave a like down below and make sure to comment. I would love to see if you guys would love to do this by yourselves. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss the next video like this. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.